Hi, everybody. Quick video to introduce our discussion board assignment. This one is going to lead us into our next unit on urban forest ecosystem assessment using iTreeEco, which is something that we will do in the field in the coming weeks. And so for this assignment, you're going to look at some of the outputs of this analysis that we will detail later, where we'll compare how forests grow up in different cities around the country and some of the ecosystem services that they provide. So the very brief summary of iTreeEco is it's a program by the Forest Service where they randomly distribute about 200 field plots around a city, and they take stock of what's in there. So what are the trees? How big are they? What species are they? And then from that, they can make estimates of ecosystem services, like how much carbon is a tree storing, how much is a set of trees improving local air quality, how much is stormwater runoff better from those trees, etc. And so this is something that most big cities in the country are now doing. So they have a baseline understanding of their urban forest, what it's doing, and health risks and what they can maybe do to make it better. So I will show an example in a second, but first let me introduce the assignment. So before you watch this video, which you are probably already doing because it is this video. And then part one, this is a discussion board, so it'll be due by Monday morning at 8 a.m. And so you'll choose a city, Philadelphia, Houston, and Phoenix. Note they are in very different climate situations to make big differences in how their forests grow and function. And you'll open up a report, which I'll show in a minute. You'll read the following sections, just a few page each, and then you will choose one area of specific interest to follow up on. So here's your options, from species composition and diversity down to building energy use modification. Again, I'll show these more in a second. And then you will write a Canvas discussion post, which may be a couple paragraphs plus a couple of bullet points that will give some basic introduction. It will define two terms that may have been challenging. It will present what you view as top line results, so kind of main results about the city's urban forest. And then it will present your area of interest, so the importance of it, the basic methods, and the results for your city. Then for part two, after a few days, you will visit someone else's post. You'll check out what they have to say, and then you'll write a quick paragraph there replying to them. And so there's a few different options for replying here. And we can be a little bit flexible, but these are just some ideas. So what if they have a different city but the same area of interest? Some ideas, different city in a different area of interest. Same city, different area of interest. You get the idea. So let's look at some of these actual cities, or an actual city. So this is the basic package that we'll see for each of our cities. So this is Austin's urban forest as measured by Forest Service in 2014. And this is the report. So always good to start with checking out the abstract, because that's what the city will view as some of the top line results that you can visit in more detail further down. And so we have things like covers canopy cover, 30.8% of the city, most common tree species, carbon dioxide removal and storage, air pollution, etc. So those are some of the what everyone views as the important things to present. So we'll scroll down and we'll see, okay, what are the main sections? You should read the intro, the general methods, the assessment summary. So some of this is going to be some of your top line results just in the very beginning, but then it will dig into some of the areas of interest as well. And so to return back there, you've got things like species composition and diversity. So Species composition is here. Invasives, that's another thing that relates to species. So you'd poke around for things like that. Can't get over there. Forest structure, canopy cover, leaf area, and tree density. So we see tree density, leaf area. Canopy cover may simply just be that single number of 30% that was presented earlier. So it's not always going to be exactly the same, but you can see how I can connect the stuff in the assignment to the document. So once I dig into this a little bit, you can see the intro, methods. You're going to want to know about what they did, the plots in particular, how they made their measurements, where they made their measurements. Here's a map of the plot. We're going to do this in the field in a bit. We're going to make some of these plots and measure the trees in there. And then this is the actual kind of model. It's something you put in information about trees and it pops out estimates of things like air quality improvement. That is a model. That's not a measured value directly. So this is important to read here, particularly, if your area of interest is air pollution. If your area of interest here is surface water runoff that was avoided, so that's stormwater mitigation, which was another one of these possibilities if it's available in your city. Girl playing in a tree. And so here's your summary of some of the key things that they found about a city that everyone's going to want to know. So number of trees. So that's an estimate based on what they measured in 200 different plots. They're scaling up that estimate to the whole city. Structure and composition. Everyone should look at this a little bit, but then the people focusing on species and things like tree size would want to look at this a little more, dig into these pie charts. What are the main species that you find? Does it look like there's an even distribution of species, or are there dominant species? What else? So I think that's the basic idea. You just got to look around. By no means do you have to read this entire thing, but you certainly should skim the whole thing. It's not that long, to find out what you want to focus in on more and what information you want to pull out of this report and report yourself to your classmates in this discussion board. I will leave it at that. Give it a try and drop me a line with questions.